Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to discuss Fama and French. Okay, we have already started discussing this last time. So the assets that we're going to focus on, the assets that we're going to model, come from different types of assets. I shared this with you last time, but I'm going to share it again. Let me first. I hope this. Okay, Control C. Okay. All right. So the assets that we're going to use are a bunch of assets that have different characteristics. So the first one, IWM, iShares Russell 2000 ETF. So this is an exchange traded fund, and this is more small cap siya, no? Small capitalization. So when we regress the factors, Fama French three factors on this asset, we expect that the SMB factor will have a positive beta. Kasi this is uh, classified more as a small cap. So if the parameter, if the coefficient for SMB is positive, it's more that it means that this asset is tilting towards yung small. Kasi di ba yung SMB small minus big to, no? All right. Then we have also IWF, value and growth ETFs. This is more on the uh, growth side. So pag negative yung value class, ibig sabihin nun, this is tilting more towards the growth side. So HML yan. And plus the other assets, you have a sector ETF. I gave some brief backgrounder about them. Si XLK is technology. So more on the ano to, no? Often has negative value exposure kasi growth on orientation to mga tech stocks. And then financials also more on historical, more value tilted daw, okay, versus yung growth. So si XLK, this is more growth tilted. Si ano naman financials, which are more conservative, value tilted siya. Okay, so we have sa number 3, dalawang assets. So I mistakenly did not number this 4. Kaya we have actually 7 plus 1, 8 assets. Okay, so we have one individual asset here, Tesla. Okay. So medyo growth stock siya, no? Okay, negative value. Okay, which means growth stock siya. Tapos may international then, these are emerging markets. So what makes these assets interesting for our Fama French analysis? So unang-una, hindi siya non-market beta, except maybe for Tesla, na most probably very sensitive to the market. No? Okay. And then significant SMB, HML, RMW, CMA exposures. So I chose the assets that are quite more on SMB, that HML. Makikita natin yan sa results ng regression natin. All right. So given that class, uh, let's now download these assets. I'll just give you the names of the assets. I want you to write the code yourself. Okay. So these are the assets that we're going to use. So, of course, we're going to use quant mode, and then we're going to use get symbols. Notice nito class, ang binigay lang natin yung from. Kasi yung to niyan, yung end will be the most current one. Tapos hindi na tayo nag-auto.assign dito kasi obviously na auto.assign naman is equal to true. Periodicity, what's different here is that we have monthly data. Okay, so I want you to run this now. Okay, create this object called assets containing our 8 assets, and then let's download these assets, and you should have this result, which means that the quant mode was able to extract the assets from Yahoo, yung OHLC, open, high, low, close, volume adjusted. Okay, so kindly please, could you please chat once you're done with the downloading of the data? Okay, good. Thank you, Aidan. So the others, please. The others who do I don't see responding. I hope you will respond. So don't just let your classmates do the burden of responding. Please respond. That is if you're following, of course. If you're not following, then how can you respond? Okay, thank you. Okay, so you should be having these assets already, itong 8 assets na to, class. Let's just check one. Okay, let me see the, okay, sobra. Okay, so this should be under our data, kasi mga XCS objects to. Okay, I'll just open one, art na lang, art, here. Okay, so si art, notice class na ang data natin, January 1, February 1, March 1, April 1, starting with 2015. Kasi yun naman yung sinabi natin. No? So there are 131 observations here. Okay, up to February 9. So hindi pa niya mabigay yung November 1 kasi wala pang November 1. Okay. So you have here yung usual open, high, low, close, volume, and then adjusted. Okay, I'll close this. So we have eight assets like this. Now, let's do this one by one. I want you to write this. But first, let's explain what this is doing. So, function X, ano yung function X natin? Monthly returns. No? So we're creating this function X where we're getting the monthly returns, and then monthly returns, alam natin quant mode to, no? So this will run get X. Okay? Yung X na yan, class, it will be related to these assets. Yung assets, ito yung ginawa natin. And then type is equal to log. So we're getting the monthly returns of our assets. Okay? Ano yung assets natin? Naka-define na yan. Okay, so individually, it will get the monthly returns of the assets. Okay? For IWM, IWF. And then what it will do is that merge niya, no? Do that call merge. It will merge it into one data, one object called retdf, returns df. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to please run this run this code. Okay, I want you to type it. I'm not going to share it. Okay. Ano ko lang i-line up para makita nyo, no? Monthly returns, open, get X, and then type is equal to log returns. I'll apply assets, and then if a function X niya, again, ano yung function X? Monthly returns. And then once you're done, kindly please chat. We'll check what's inside ret df. Okay, thank you, Aidan. So let's wait for the others. Paula, thank you. Okay, Andrea. Kayan. Okay, good. Jello, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, class, for your participation, Moises. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy that I'm having more responses from your end. Okay, so let's proceed. But the others, I hope, are able to follow. So if you take a look, class, at what's inside the red DF that we created, i-click ko na lang dito. Where's my red DF? Red DF here. So 130 observations of 9 variables. Oops, sorry. Wait, hindi ko pa pala ano na to, class. Yung ret df ko na yan, na-modify na yan. Okay, I'll run this ret df. And then here, it's an XTS object here. So you can see that it's from 2015-01-01, no? Up to yung latest date kanina. And then notice that the heading is monthly that returns 0, monthly that returns 1, hanggang monthly that returns 7 to 7 kasi 8 yung assets natin tapos hindi niya binigyan ng number 1. And these are log returns. And take note, class, walang NA value dito, walang missing, walang 000. No? Kasi monthly data to. So you have February 1 with January 1. Yun ang pagkuha ng ng monthly returns. Okay, so let's go here. And then what do we do with this? So we need to fix this, class, itong retdf natin. Change the title, and then we need to also create a XTS object kasi to, no? We need to create a data frame so that we will be able to use this for LM, yung linear model natin. XTS kasi will not work with LM. So dapat malagay natin date dito. Okay? And if you recall, class, this is an XTS object. Kaya natin kunin yon. Index, no? Okay, index ni... Okay, mamaya na, no? So, sorry. Let me just first... Okay. So, index, here, index, then, ret underscore df. Kunin ko lang yung first 3, head. Kasi kung kinuha ko lahat, mahaba yan. There. Sorry, class. Mali. Capital H. There. There you go, class. Yung first 3. We discussed last time that an XTS object consists primarily of 2 parts, the index and the core data. So pwede natin kunin yung core data niya. This time, I'm going to do core data, and then yung first 2 lang. Mahaba yung 8, ano to eh. Control Enter. There you go, class, diba? We were able to extract the first 2 observations of the core data class ng retdf. This can only be done, class, if it's an XTS object and not a data frame. Okay, so let's modify this a bit. This time now, okay, nakuha na natin, class, yung yung monthly returns niya. Okay, this time, we're going to create a data frame out of that. Why data frame, class? Because we need a data frame because we're going to do regression model on this one, diba? We're going to use the 3 factors, SMB, market, SMB, and HML in order to regress, in order to explain or create a model for our assets. Okay, so ito yung class. We're creating this column called date, and it will be from the index ng retdf, and we're also getting the core data ni retdf. Okay, so let's run this. And you can now see our retdf has been changed. Meron na siyang date dito, class. Andi dito na yung date. Unlike kung kanina yung XTS object, no, andi dito yung date natin sa index. Okay, again, why do we need this? Because we need a data frame object for the LM. Okay, and then what do we do? This one class, please write that. I'm not giving this to you. Then let's change the names class of our of ret df. Okay, from two. Why from two? Kasi we don't need to change anymore the date name. So yung monthly returns lang to, babaguhin natin to, no? From column 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kasi 9 columns na ito ngayong class. We have 9 columns now. So we need to write here from column 2 up to the length of assets plus 1. Diba si assets class, ang length ng assets, 8 yan, di ba? There are 8 assets, length of assets. You use length class if it's a vector. You use n rows if it's a data frame. Length of assets, 8 lang siya. So that's why we need to add plus 1 kasi 9 columns tong ret df, no? So from column 2 up to column 9, you change the names to assets. Ano ba yung assets class? Ito. So we're going to change, instead of having monthly.returns, monthly.returns1, i-change natin sa assets name. Okay? All right, I'm going to run this now. And then ang retf natin ngayon, retdf ngayon, yan na. Wala na yung monthly.returns. Okay? So I'll give you a few seconds. While you're working on that, I'm going to give this note. Okay, bakit this? I'll make it in 2 sets. Sumobra. Grabe naman, the number 3 lang. Okay, those are the first 3, and then here. Okay, kindly please, kindly chat in the chat box if you were able to get the ret underscore df. This one already, class. This one already, where you have the dates and you have the names of the assets. Okay, hindi na yung returns, no? Yung returns name. Waiting for your confirmation if you were able to get that, class. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, let's wait for the others. Okay, good. Thank you, class. Thank you. Appreciate your cooperation. Okay, makes me feel unalone. No? Makes me feel that we are connected now, that you're following along. Thank you. Okay, so let's now do this, class. So I gave you, class, the notes so that when you review your code, baka hindi nyo naintindihan, ano? I gave you some notes here. So just for the purposes of discussion, ito, class, di ba, I said get x. No? Get x. What's get x? What's x, class? Okay? It's defined by your assets. Di ba, assets natin yung, we created that object, yung 8 assets natin. And Excel will recognize that kasi na-load na natin, class, yung returns, no? It will get its monthly returns, log returns. Okay, and then do that call, i-merge siya. Okay, it will put it into one, yung monthly returns ng all our 8 assets. Now, the question is, why are we using monthly data? Okay, number 1, Fama French publishes its data monthly. So, okay, we'll review, class, yung loading ng data, no? But we're using monthly data to yung sa returns. So why did we get monthly returns? Kasi it will align with Fama and French data. Although merong daily data na Fama and French. Kaso, ang standard, what's used oftentimes in academic researches and in analysis, professional analysis, is monthly data. Tapos, pag daily data kasi, class, medyo noisy. Okay, so it will avoid the noise, reduce noise, and the microstructure effects para mas smooth yung model natin. And then usually din class, ang investment horizon, hindi naman nagde-daily yan not daily trading. No? Usually monthly or other periods other than monthly, but not usually daily. Tapos yung mga reporting, hindi naman nag-i-investment horizon na per day. Okay, and also, it will avoid the problem of serial correlation. Kasi pag daily class, ang titingnan niya yung daily relationships. Pag monthly, at least medyo smooth out siya. And then, so if you're going to research, for example, you're interested in making this as your data for or your topic of your research in the future for your research, then at least yung mga other researches monthly yon. So there can be a comparison. Okay. All right. Then last time I sent this link to you. Let me just send it now. Control C, Control V. For those of you who were not here last time, so make sure that you open this site and let's see. Let's go to that site. This is the site class. So this is your Fama French site, and you can see here that I leave you class to explore the other things about this information about this site. Tingnan nyo class, August 2025. So the last data that they provided is August 2025. This is the average of the last 3 months and average of the last, no, cumulative ng last 12 months. So we have here 3 factors, no? This is the excess market, this is your small minus big, and this is your high minus low. Okay, so what we're going to discuss now is the 3 factor. Your case will be the 5 factor. Okay, since I'll be providing already the codes, it's a matter of just changing some of the konti na nga lang gagawin nyo no? Ang mas hahanapin ko yung analysis nyo, your interpretation and analysis of your output. Here you also have Fama French 5. So ito yung 5 factor. Excess market, SMB, HML, okay, robust, okay, and then the ano yung C class? Conventional, no? CMA. Okay. All right. So the data class can be found here. Ito. You have here Fama French 3 factors, my weekly at saka my daily. Meron tayong 5 factors here na merong monthly, my daily. So we're going to use the monthly data. What we're going to download is the 5 factors kasi 5 factors already include the 3 factors. Okay, so let's download this. Choose CSV class. For those of you who haven't downloaded it, click CSV, and then i-save nyo to class dun sa ano nyo. Save nyo dun sa our project natin. Okay, I'll not do this anymore, but for those of you who haven't done it, please do so. So isi-save nyo siya dito sa ano nyo, sa CSV. Sa CSV. Sa ano pala, sa project nyo, where your RMD is housed. Okay, so hindi ko na siya isa-save, ka-cancel ko lang to, but those of you who have not done it, please do so now. Cancel. So when you look at your project, this is my project class, you'll find the zip file for that. Ito yan. FF Research Data 5 Factors. What you're going to do with this is i-extract na class. Right-click and then extract. Extract all. Okay? So once you have extracted all, so lalabas dito class yung folder ng, okay, here. Yung folder na yung class, this one. And then if you right-click this, you will see, pag right-click ko to class, and then pag click ko pala, not right-click, open. Okay, may Excel CSV file dito class. Okay, i-delete nyo yung file, and then i-copy nyo dito sa main R project folder. Dito. So pag kinopyan siya dito class, you'll now have this one. CSV file, Microsoft Excel, comma separated value. This one. Okay, dinownload ko na yun sa daily, dinownload ko rin dito sa Asia Pacific. Meron kasi ng Asia Pacific na factors. Kaso nga lang hindi siya use at your own risk kung Philippine stocks ang gagamitin. Kasi ang ano nito, ang laman nito, it's Hong Kong, Singapore, yung mga advanced countries. But maybe I'll put it as a special project for those who want to add on to their grades to create a factor for the Philippines. No? So, kunyari SMP. So, dapat pupunta kayo sa PSEI. Ida-download nyo yung some data dun sa stocks na yun. Kaso marami siya. No? So, special project if you want. No? Tapos, kukunin yung class, some information, asset, etc., investments, etc. And then you can, madali lang yung class kasi medium lang, yung median. Okay? Then, the upper 50% will be your kung sorted siya on market capitalization. Okay? And then just in case lang na may gusto mag-project nun. All right. So you should have now class dun sa nyo sa FINLYTS nyo, sa project nyo, this data. Okay, so we can now work on our markdown. Okay? So once again class, I'm not giving the codes to you. I want you to write it. Okay, so ito muna class. Let's work on this first. So let's create this object ff5. Maybe you'd like to, para makita natin class yung progress, _1. Ito na muna, no? Let's make it _1. And then read that CSV. And then you just identify the file name. Ito yun, di ba? Kasi andito na yun siya. And that's one thing good with creating a project. Kasi you can directly identify the file name. R will understand it because you are in that project. Okay, wait. Before we do this nga pala, if you open the file, let's open the file first. Sorry, I forgot this. Open the file class, yung download nyo. Let's just inspect what it contains. All right, tingnan nyo class, no? Yung first 3 rows, may description siya. This file was created using CRISP database. The 1 month, okay, TBIL rate data are from Ibbotson Associates starting with 2024-06, June 2024. So ito yung mga risk-free rate. Okay, these are monthly rates, di ba? If you go down, class, if you go down, there are around 800 plus observations. So meron tayong dito, may text dito, may copyright. Okay? And then notice, class, below, sa 700 plus, meron tayong additional data dito, annual factors, January to December. So these are now ito monthly kasi class, ito annual. So may annual data din tayo dito. Okay? This is important because later on, hindi natin kakailanganin itong annual data. So we will have to remove this. And then also, yung data natin dito, yung date niya medyo kakaiba, no? Kasi, okay, binigay lang niya yung year at saka yung month. Okay? 1963, 07, July. No? Okay, so we're going to access this now. Let's go back to our R. Okay. Read.csv. Okay. Skip is equal to 3. Ibig sabihin yung first 3 lines, skip na yun. Then header is equal to true, which means may mga header siya. Yung date, yung market. Strings as factors, we're not going to treat the columns. Mga strings kasi siya, we're not going to treat it as factors. Hindi naman variable yan class. No? Hindi naman pangalan lang siya. Okay, so I want you to run this now. I'm going to run it. ff5_1 para makita natin yung progress, no? ff5_1. I'm going to click this and look at this. All right. So kindly chat, please, if you were able to generate ff5_1. Okay, I might have been going too fast. Okay, class. Sorry, huh? I wanted to write that. No? Once you're done, please chat. When I open the file, mine is not in tables. Okay. Okay, sandali may question dito. Paula, could you share your screen, please? I'll stop share.
Okay, sir, wait lang.
Hmm.
Can my screen be seen,
Yes.
sir?
Oo, okay na.
It
I can
looks
see
like
your screen.
this po.
View mo siya?
Ito sir, if I import dataset, hindi siya
Dyan ka nag-import. Okay? Tingnan ko
Yeah,
yung code mo. When you imported, tingnan ko yung code mo ulit.
sige po, sir.
May see.
Ito po.
Yung isang ginamit yung read_CSV.
So, ibahin po.
Sige, tingnan natin Ayaw mo gamitin yung read.csv na lang from readr.
Sige po, sir.
You try that nga. Subukan natin.
Sige po, sir. Saan
Sige.
po?
Punta ka sa natin, sa R Markdown.
Okay, sir.
Pwede din naman yan, pero I'm wondering why. Okay.
Sir, i-type ko po yung
I-type ko yung file name as yung file name.
yung FF.
Kailangan eksakto
Ano, sir, copy paste ko na lang.
Sige. Yan. May quotes May quotes. Okay, share ko yung screen ko, Pao, para sundan mo
Okay po. Okay,
Okay,
thank you, sir.
sige. Tapos tell me what happened.
Okay po.
Okay. Share ulit ako. Okay. I'm wondering why hindi siya hindi siya dapat pareho lang either sa read_r na read_CSV o ito should be the same. Okay, skip is equal to 3 to remove the first 3 rows. Header is equal to true and then strings as i-ano ko na lang anyway na most of you have done it. Okay, I just wanted you to write the code yourselves, but I'm going to share this in the chat box. Okay, for those of you who are also having problems with the code, yan Pao na copy mo na lang yung no?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sige. And then tell me, when you view FF51, what happened? Sige nga, share mo nga ulit.
Sige po, sir. Sir, ito po, i-run ko, sir. And then, ito po siya, sir, tama.
Click mo nga siya, yeah. Oo.
Ito po.
Oo. Hindi. Yung FF51. Ang clinic mo kasi yung hindi yan. Yung FF51.
Ito pala, sir.
Oo,
Yeah.
yan. Oo. Okay.
Thank
So, tama pala din kanina. Tama pala, no? Kasi ang clinic mo kasi yung CSV file na
Opo. Okay, sir.
okay, sige.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
So, pag clinic mo yung file na yon, it will appear really as comma separated. Okay. So, my bad. Hindi ko na notice na ang clinic mo pala yung FF research, no?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sige. All right. Thank you, Pao. Thank you for that question. Sige, share ulit ako, class. Okay. Appreciate your questions, class, please. Don't be ashamed to ask questions. Okay. So, yung learning natin doon, no? If I click this, class, tinan to click ko lang to itong daily returns to O sige, kahit na to, daily returns. View file, di ba? View file. Yan, tinan nyo, di ba? Ito yon. CSV talaga siya kasi view file. Right? But that's not what we want. What we wanted was yung in-extract na natin. Okay, so let's do this now. If we check FF51 class, in case may mga missing values dito, patanggalin na natin. Okay, so looks like wala namang missing values. Andi dito pa nga lang si copyright, no? At saka andi dito yung mga annual na data natin, which we're going to remove. Okay? So, anyway, let's still run that, no? So, ilalagay ko dito, dapat FF5 underscore 1, no? FF5 underscore 1 is FF5 underscore 1, shift underscore 1, okay? So, is.na, wag isasama, no? But this is equivalent to na.omit. Yung exclamation point dito, class, not yung wag isama yung na. So, let's run this class. Control Enter. And then let's check again FF51. Okay, kasi wala naman siyang, oh, wait. Ano yung, ha? Ano nangyari sa FF51 ko? Okay, ulitin ko class, ha? Sorry. FF51 is this one. Okay, so that's FF51. Huh? What happened? FF51 underscore 1. Bakit naging 0 na siya? Strange. Ulit. FF51. Here is FF51. And then, okay, FF51 pa rin. At iba bracket, huwag isama yung mga NAs, lahat ng columns. Did you run this class? Did you run this? Tell me what happened, please. So what happened? Moises, what happened? Did you still get yung FF51 na to? You should have gotten this also. Kasi pinapatanggal lang naman natin yung mga NAs. Eh. Did you get that, Moises?
Sir, check ko lang. Double check ko po sa file.
Print yung FF5 underscore 1. Kindly print it. View it. How about the rest class? The rest. This one class. What happened when you run this? Still the same name of the object, but we are subsetting.
Sir, parang wala pong
Ay,
nangyari.
sorry. Ito class, ito, mali, no? Ito dapat -1 to, okay? Change ko kasi class yung ano, no? Sorry. Okay, let me run this again, Control Enter. And then this one class, FF51, is that lahat ng NAs, don't include it dun sa FF5 underscore 1. Okay, my mistake. That's what happened because I changed the name. Why did I change the name, class? Because I just want this to be preserved because we're going to now create another object coming from FF51. Okay, Control Enter. So I should have now the same class, no? FF5 underscore 1. Okay, same everything, nothing changed, class, because there's no NA value for FF51. But still, that's a good practice. Okay, now I'd like to share this with you, class. Okay, this is notes to the code. I'm going to split it, Control C. Kindly copy this class below your codes. And then we'll discuss. Control C. And then this is the last. Okay. I put in extra effort here, class, so that you can review your code, especially if we have a case on this, iba yung 5-factor. Okay, so removes this one. Okay, but I'm using FF5 here, removes rows where the X column, okay, is an A. So when we check visually the X column, well, there's no NA. So nothing will happen here. And then this one, class, this is very important, yung repel na function. This one, class, will create FF5, and then we should change this, no? FF51, kasi yun original, that's the original file. Okay, so what will happen here? It will ask us to identify, looking at the X column, class, look for numbers or characters from 0 to 9. Okay, so if we take a look at our data, this one is okay. Okay, the bottom part, the annual, is still okay, class, because these are characters. This one is not. So anything that's not a number will be deleted. Okay, this one also is not a number, so that will be deleted. Okay, and then, okay, but not just any number. It should be 6 digits, class. This one means 6 digits. This one means 6 digits. From what data? From this data. And then include all the, this is the row, class, and then include all the, this is column X, and then include all the rows. Okay, so let's go up here. Okay, maybe you can just copy the notes there. And then I'm creating FF5. However, we're using FF51. So take note, class, we're using FF51. And then same here, class, FF51. Okay, that's just to preserve yung FF51 so that you see where FF5 is coming from. So this is a new object, FF5. From FF51, take a look at the X column, class, and then take a look at those with numbers from 0 to 9, characters from 0 to 9, and then just check those that have 6 digits. Okay, and then the rest, class, remove. So I'm going to run this, class, Control Enter. So I now have my FF5. So where's my FF5 here? All right, let's take a look. Notice that a while ago it was 810. Now it's only 746. What happened to our FF5? If I go down, class, okay, the annual data, class, was removed. The character data there was also removed. No? So we only have 746 observations, and all our rows X are all 6 numbers. Diba? Kasi from 0 to 9, and then 6 digits. Okay, so kindly chat, please, class. Kindly chat if you're able to get this. Okay, Moses, thank you. Let's wait for the rest. Let me show the code back. Here lang, class, ito lang, this is what we need. In fact, I gave it to you dito. Just have to change the FF5_1. Waiting for your response, class. Okay, good. Waiting for the others, please. You should have this. Okay, 746 observations. We have X, and then we have the 5 factors. Excess market, small minus big, high minus low. And then here we have the RF, no, the risk-free rate. Okay, thank you, Paula. Thank you, Aidan. How about the others, please? Okay, sorry. Thank you. I hope the others who are not able to respond are able to follow along. All right, so let's take a look at this class. Let's see what we will be doing with this. The X variable here, let's change it. Okay, we can use names FF5, first column is equal to date. Okay, so we're changing the name of the object FF5, the first column. Okay, let's name it date. And then here also, although the others are already named as MBHML, so you don't need that actually. We can just name column 2. Let's change it to market. But anyway, I just did this as a practice. But nothing will happen here because the names of the variables are already SMB, HML, RMW, CMA, and RF. Okay. All right. So I'll run this here, date. And then this one, the market.rf will be changed into market. But we know this is the excess returns class. So market, SMB, HML. Okay. All right. So I hope you're able to follow. Now this is class in this is in percent, no? 0.27. The values given in the FF in the Fama French are all in percent. So we need to extract the decimal. So we're going to divide this by 100. Okay. So we divide it by 100 to get the actual decimal place. Okay. So what are we going to do here? All right. So maybe this one, I'm going to share this with you in the interest of time. And then let's just explain what this code is all about. Control V. Okay. So first, we're going to look at the first. Okay. This is the first row column. This is the first column class. Okay. So first column, FF5. And then we're going to list apply for the first column, the function. Okay. Sorry, class, not first column. Okay. I stand corrected. I got confused there. Not the first column, but excluding the first column. We're subsetting, no? So there's no such thing as -1 column. That -1 there means do not include or except. So that means all the columns except -1. Why is that so, class? We don't want to change the date. We don't want to divide it by 100. Remember, these are in percent, class. So we have to make it as decimal. So you have here, again, the function x as that numeric. Okay? We're going to change it, the numeric. In case there are characters there, class, as that character x, we're going to change it in as numeric and then divide it by 100. So dividing it by 100 will convert the percentage into decimal places. Okay, so that's everything, all the columns except the first column. Okay, so it will divide everything from the second up to the last column, okay, by 100. So that's this is a good function, class. X divided by 100. So if we run this class, enter. So let's check FF5, and we can now see that there, your percentage was converted into decimal places. Para sa inyong comma, okay, thank you for the question. Okay, thank you, Moses, for the question. Here, class, here. Remember, FF5 is a data frame. So, rows and columns yan. Row 1, column 1, row 1, column 6, etc. So, when you subset a data frame, we use brackets. No? So, the first one, comma, the first one refers to your row. The second one refers to your column. Okay? So in our code here, let me just delete this. In our code here, okay, FF5, this is FF5. This one, right? It's a data frame. You have rows and columns here. And then we're saying here brackets. Okay, we're subsetting. Okay, the first one is row, which means include all the rows. The second one is column. -1 here means except the first column. So whatever function we're going to do here will be, it will do it for all the columns except the first column. Okay, so that's what we meant by -1. Do not include the first column. Anong gagawin, class? What will be done? Okay, lapply, list apply. So for all the columns except -1, perform this function. What's this function, class? As that numeric, okay, x divided by 100. Okay, so what's x, class? All the columns, class, except the first column. So you're going to divide it by 100. So when you divide it now by 100, this is what appears. Okay, a while ago this was -0.39. Now it's 0.0039. Because the values given by Fama in French are percentages. So we don't need the percentages. What we need are the decimals, the actual numbers. Okay, did that answer your question, Moises?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for that question. And then this one, class, take a look at this. The problem we have is that ito, class, yung date natin, it's not the standard date. This is YYYMM. We would want to replace it by YYYMM and DD. Why is that so, class? Tingnan nyo yung return data frame natin. We should change yung FF3 natin into this type. So my year, YYY-MM-DD. Okay? So we should have the same date columns, class, same format. Otherwise, we cannot join. We cannot join those two objects. Kasi we will join here the FF3 class, yung mga factors natin. Okay? So let's do this. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, as that date. Whatever is done here, class, should be as date. Okay, if we paste natin, paste 0 means it will combine them. Okay, substring, class, FF $date. So sa sub na, class, substring FF date, class, this one from 1 up to 4. So what will happen? From 1 up to 4, okay, it will combine it, class, no? So what will happen here is that ito 1963. So yun ang unang that will be the first one, part of the string that it will extract. Ipipaste niya. And then put a dash. Okay, so here you can see 1963 dash. Okay, I hope you're following, class. And then substring, again, yung date column, 5 and 6. So which means that the next two, the 5th and the 6th, okay, so dash, so 1963, the first 4, dash, 5 and 6, yung 07, okay, it will paste it there, dash, kasi may dash dito, and then substring, yung 5 and 6, and then dash 01. So what will happen here, class? It will be 1963 dash 1963 dash 07 dash 01. So it will make it all the first day of the month, just like our results F3, no? Okay, sorry. Our return DF pala. So -01, all the first day of the month. So here we're converting it into the first day of the month. That's why we are pasting it, class, pasting yung substring, yung first 4, 1 hanggang 4, and then dash, and then 5 and 6, and then dash 0, 1. Okay, notice quotes, subs, if we paste nito, dash 0, 1. Okay, let's run this now. FF5 yung date, class. Okay, take note, class. There you go. Okay, di ba? So easy, class. So easy. Our dates are now the first 4, 1963, and then dash, and then 5th and 6th, yung month, 07, and then dash, 01. Okay, please now, chat, please, in the chat box. If you were able to get this, I already provided you the code, class, so that should be no problem. Okay, thank you, Aidan. The rest, please. So you can see, class, how very easy it is, class, to manipulate, no, to wrangle. We call it data wrangling, cleaning the data, preparing the data. This is part of financial analytics, cleaning the data. Okay, how about the others, please? I'm waiting for your feedback if you were able to get the desired data output. Thank you, Geisha. Thank you, Moises. Juan, thank you. Okay, Kian, thank you. Okay, good, class. I just hope the others are able to follow. Please take note, class. Thank you, Paula. This is part of your case number 2, where you're going to run this time the five factors. We're going to discuss yung 3 factors lang. Okay, let's move on, class. I need to hurry up a bit, class. I gave you already the meaning of this one. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to merge. Take note, class, that retDF is a data frame, di ba? This is a data frame here. And then FF5 class is a data frame then. So we can merge these two. What are we going to merge? Merge return DF and FF5. Now take note, class, that they have different dates. No? See, FF5 from 1963 to hanggang until 2025 hanggang August 1 lang. On the other hand, si retDF only from 2015 up to meron pa siyang October 9, no? October 9. So they will not match. Si return DF 130 observations, si FF5 700 plus. So we need to combine them, merge them by date. Take note of this, class. By date. So that what will happen is that only the common dates will be included in our object merge DF. Okay. Okay, so write the first one and I'm going to give you the second one here. Control C in the interest of time. Okay, para may contribution kayo dun sa code chunk na yan. All right. So write the first one, class, merge DF. We're creating now this merge data frame. It consists of the return DF, which is this one, okay, and then the FF5, which is this one. FF5, which is this one. Okay, and then we're saying make it by date, which means that only the common dates will be removed. So for example, so return DF, it will not include this one, 9/1 and 10/09, because this is not present with FF5. For FF5 also, we will exclude all the dates that are 1963, etc., because it's not present in return DF. So only what's common to both, class. This is also the same as left join, okay, in joins. No? All right. So let's run this, class. And I hope now you have your merged data frame. Notice it's only 129 observations. And we have 23 variables. Kasi we have here, this is your FF5, di ba? Okay? And you have here your ret df. Sorry, wait. I forgot to tell you something, class. No? Okay, take a look at this. What I gave you. No? What happened here, class, is okay. For asset in assets, okay, yung assets natin, di ba yung 8 names? Again, we're going to paste. What are we going to paste? Excess underscore asset. So what does that mean? Excess underscore IWM, excess underscore IWF, excess underscore BMO, etc. Yung 8 assets na yan. You'll have excess underscore, then the name of the asset. And then it will be, take a look at this class. Merge DF, okay, which is this one, di ba? Of the asset is here, di ba? Minus merge DF, yung risk-free rate. So what will happen? Okay, it will now create an column excess IWM, and what will be under excess WM? Yung merge DF of the asset minus yung DF. Okay? So let me just show you that class. It will now generate an object, a variable called excess IWM. And what will be excess WM? It will be the return of IWM since they are now in one, in a merged data. No? Okay? Minus class yung risk-free rate. Minus the risk-free rate. So what are we creating, class? We're creating now the excess returns. Because when we do the Fama and French, 3-factor, we need to use excess returns. Okay? We need to use excess returns and not the returns. So if we run that class, our merge data will now include date, okay, the 8 assets. It will also include the factors, market, SMB, HML, and then it will also include the excess returns. So where did this excess return come from? It came from IWM minus the risk-free rate. Here. Minus the risk-free rate. There. Okay, so all of them up to 128 entries. Okay, let me pause for a while, class, and ask if you were able to get this. This merged data frame with 23 observed, 23 variables. What does that include? Yung date, that's common to both. Then you have the return data frame, yung mga return sila. Then you have the FF5, yung mga factors. And then you have the excess returns. Coming from this one. Paste 0, excess underscore, then the name of the asset. And then it will be, what will it include? The asset, this is the return of the asset minus the risk-free rate to get your excess asset, excess returns. Okay, I need your confirmation, class, if you were able to get this. Okay, I hope to get. Okay, I'll need to hurry up a bit, class, because medyo I'll also post, class, the first section kasi for the first section we were able to finish everything. Okay, thank you so much. I will not pause anymore, maybe just a few times, so we need to look at this. Okay, we don't need this actually because we already created these assets, no? These are our assets. Okay. Okay, for this one, I'm going to share this with you. Okay, this one. Now this is very important, class, because okay, before I share it, class, how do we now perform regression? So for example, if we want to model IWM, let's say IWM underscore model, so we're going to do alt minus LM, right? LM of excess returns, excess IWM. Okay, and then shift tilde, regressed on what class? Regressed on our market, okay, plus SMB plus HML. Okay, three factors only class. This will be our regressors. Excess market returns plus SMB plus HML. Okay, because we're only using three factors here, and data is equal to your merge data. Merge underscore DF. All right. So if I run this class, control enter, okay, it will now create a regression model class. Yan, di ba? Yung IM model natin. And then if I can summarize this, summary, IMW underscore mod, control enter. Sorry, summary IWM, my bad. IWM. Okay, mod, control enter. There you go, class. So we now have the regression outputs, market, SMB, and HML. So this is your three-factor Fama French, where we are describing, we are modeling excess IMW to our three factors, excess market, your small minus big, and then your HML, high minus low. Now we need to, what in your case, you need to interpret this class. What's the meaning of these parameters? Now we have 8 assets. Do we have to do that one by one? Good thing, class, is that we can loop. Now this is really very helpful. So I'm going to give this now to you. Here, class. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Control C. And then let's Control B. Okay, let's analyze what's happening here. Okay. So we're creating this object called research FF3. Okay, list. What will it list, class? Okay, for asset in assets, it means it will look, right? We have the 8 assets. It will look what? Let's create this object called formula. Okay, so this formula is as that formula. Then R will treat this as a formula. Paste 0. It will paste what? Excess underscore asset. So what will it paste? Excess underscore IWM, excess underscore IWF, etc. All the 8 assets. And then, okay, tilde market plus SMB plus HML. And then this will be treated as a formula. And then we will now regress results, okay, FF3 for every asset. And then summary LM formula. What's LM formula, class? It's this one, right? The one above, where we are regressing excess IWM, excess Tesla, excess everything for all of the assets on market plus SMB plus HML. So we're doing here, we're regressing all the 8 assets in just this one formula, class. Okay, so you don't have to repeat this individually, excess IWM, excess IWF, etc. So with just one code, class, with just this one, you are able to create 8 LMs. Okay? Thank God for formulas like this. Thank God for loops like this. Diba? Imagine kung iisa-isa nyo if you're going to do this one at a time. Wow. Okay, so let's run this class. Run, control, enter. Oops, sorry. What happened? What happened here? 0 length. Strange. Ayan, okay. Sorry, class. Okay, it run, class. So what's inside results FF3, class? List, class. It's a list of 8. But take a look at what's inside here. It's a list of regression outputs, class. Here, IWM. If I click this, there, class. This is the regression result for IWM. Diba? Okay, these are the coefficients. But take note of the coefficients class, no? Kasi it's a, what's inside there? Yung estimate, yung standard error, the p-value, the t-value. Okay. All right. So and then, okay, let me just close this first. Okay, here. Okay, and I can, if I want, I can print the results for FF3, then just IWM. So try to run this class, and then it will just give you the IWM result there. That's for IWM. Okay, so this is the regression for IWM. Now, this one, I'll share this with you, and then it will print all the results. So very powerful talaga si R class. Okay, here. So what's happening here again for asset in assets? Okay, concatenate. So print the dash and then the name of the asset and then dash again and then print results FF3 for each of the assets. Okay, we are now looping. So for each of the assets, what are our assets? For asset in assets, okay? We have 8 assets. It will now loop IWM, etc., etc. So if we run this class, okay, IWM, note, print, no? 4 dashes and then IWM, the asset, and then 4 dashes again. And this is the regression result for IWM, for IWF, for XLK, for all the 8 assets class, up to Tesla and this one. So everything class, everything. So in your case class, for the 5 case, just change this. Just change this class. Our regressors will be market, okay, plus SMB plus HFL plus RMW plus CMA. Exactly, class. Ito lang babaguhin class, no? So for the others, wala na. Just that class. That's our regression. Okay, so just one part of the code, no? And then it will generate the same thing. Now what I want you to do, of course, is to analyze the results. Okay, so here, I will lead you class to research on how to interpret this, no? Kunyari, kanina class, di ba? Yung first one, IWF. Let's see. We know that IWM is tilted towards small. Okay. Here you can see that the market parameter is almost 1. It means that it does not move. It moves similar to the market, 1.01. But it means that it mimics the market approximately, and it's statistically significant. SMB, as expected class, this is tilted more towards the small cap assets because IWM is an ETF of small cap assets. Okay, for the value versus growth, okay, this is more tilted towards the value, okay, and not the growth. Okay, and you can look at the others, for example, see Tesla, for example. Tesla, you can see here that market very high, no? So it's really very sensitive to the market. It's riskier, 1.6, because this is a growth stock. Okay. Actually, value stock too, no? SNB, it's tilted towards the small. Interesting, no? But this is not, this is statistically significant at 10%. Okay, because Tesla is a big company, so dapat medyo tilted siya towards the big. Okay, but it's more tilted towards the small. And this is because of some, okay, now try to explore why some companies that should be more tilted towards a particular factor, just like Tesla. This is a big company. Why is it tilted more towards the small? And how about a negative class? Negative 1.23 here stands for it's more tilted towards the, okay, high minus the low. No? high minus the low. So high what? High market cap versus the small market cap. So this is more on the growth side. High means high value. Okay, L means low value, which is also growth. So it's negative high, which means it's not on the value, but rather on the growth. Tesla being such a dynamic company, so this is understandable. So low, it's more tilted, it's leaning more towards the uh, growth companies. Okay, so that's what I want you to explore and find out here. SMB, WVMO are international companies. So it doesn't, hindi significant, this is not significant. And HML is not that significant, significant at 10%. The market, yes, 0.7, but it's less sensitive to the market. Okay, 0.7 only. For every 1% increase in the market, the VWO, I'm sorry, increases only by 0.7%. All right, I'm going to share. So it's almost time, class. You may, I'm just going to share some plots here. Okay, I'm not going to share everything here because I'm sure it will not. Control C. Kindly copy this, please. Control V. You can use this for your case class. This is more on plotting. Control C, Control V. Okay, also the others. So here, I'm not going to share this class because this is for the 5-factor, di ba? Ito lang yung class, oh. Nadagdag lang, you just add RMW. Okay, here I'm going to, by the way, class, did we discuss this already? Okay, let's quickly discuss this. Here I'm going to create a summary table, class. So it's a data frame. What's inside the table? Asset, a column asset, column alpha underscore P, the P value, column market, market underscore B, P, etc. Strings as factors is equal to false. Don't make the labels as factors. And then what's happening here, class? I'm going to extract from the results FF3 natin, class, the coefficients. Okay, and we're going to bind it into a table. So what do we have here? The alpha, make it 4 decimal places. Okay, so this is 4, I'm sorry. Also the market, 4 decimal places. So all the columns, class, will be made into 4 decimal places. And if you run this, class, you'll have now a summary table. There, class. See? Okay, very useful, di ba? HML and then HML underscore P. All right. So this is your table. You can actually save this, class, as a CSV, but of course in your output you'll need this so that you can see this. So this is the asset. These are the assets. You can see that the alphas are all negative. No, there's positive here, and the p value, some of them are significant. For the market, you can see that for ARC and Tesla, they're so highly sensitive to the market. They're all significant. Okay, and SMB, they differ based on the asset. The p values are, some are significant. XLF is not significant. Most are significant. Tesla is significant, but at 10%. For the high, medium, for the high minus low, okay, high minus low value, these assets, these two are more on the growth side. Also this one, the negatives, class, are more on the uh, low value, which means high growth. Okay, but the positive ones are more on the high value side. Okay, and then this one, class. Okay, so this one, this is for the 5-factor. So I'm going to share this with you because in your case, you can choose a particular asset or assets for you to plot and see what's inside there. Control V. And then this one also, I'm going to share this now. Rolling windows, you can see that the betas are changing across time. Okay, and it's quite long, so I'm going to. super class, you may go, huh? You may go. So, and then just this last one. Okay, Control C. Good, we were able to finish there. Okay, so let me run, class. Let me run and explain to you what the plots are. This one, class, is so I chose here Tesla. You may choose another asset, of course. Okay, so this one will, this first class, it will plot the excess returns of Tesla. Okay, so if I run this, I'll get this one. You can see the behavior of Tesla, excess returns niya. Okay, so there are some ups here, especially during the COVID, no? And then here, this one, okay, 2024 perhaps. So nagkaroon ng change dito, no? These are the excess returns. The others are quite uniform lang, pero dito tayo meron tayong, so there seems to be a structural change here, 2020, 2021. And then here, I gave you the rolling window. This will now compute your betas, okay, 36 months at a time. Okay, so if you take a look at this one, this is also for Tesla. You can now see that the betas, how the betas are changing here, class. So these are the betas for our predictors. Yung pink, class, is market. You can see how it changed, no? Yung 2020, during the COVID, class, you can see that Tesla was acting very sensitive with respect to the market here. Very high. Very high yung beta, 1 point something. No? In fact, umabot ng 2 plus, no? 2. Okay? So this is beta. So may portions na 2 plus siya. And then here, class, towards the end, here, most current negative siya. No? Okay? So that's the rolling window, class. And then yung last plot is this one, class. Yung you can put okay, highlights, no? Here. You can highlight this particular portion, which is critical. And then you can also put the last one, class, I gave you here. You can add notations here. For example, the same plot as above, but I place here COVID rally and tech boom. So this is something that's really very, very good with R and ggplot, kasi you can really create very, very good plots on this. Okay, did I give this to you, class? Itong text annotations, let me check. Text annotations, did I give that? No, hindi ba? Highlight lang pala. So include this, please. Text annotations here. Or did I? Anyway. Okay, just copy that, please. Okay, so that ends our discussion. Last, you'll have, so please start already. Anyway, you have your data already. You have your, in fact, you have your codes. So there's nothing much you need to do. And it's just more on the analysis of your outputs.